I own about 25 Hulk statues, and people often ask, why do you continue to buy more? Why not? I mean, look at the size of this thing. As the Extreme channel is pushing towards 50,000 subscribers, these are just a few of the statues we are giving away on the journey there. If you want to know how to win one, stay tuned for later in the video. Hey everyone, welcome to the Extreme channel, where we are looking at yet again another custom 1/4 scale Hulk. As I said in the intro, I own about 25 Hulk statues, and probably about 15 of them are actually custom 1/4 scale. That means it's a private unlicensed commission. Marvel didn't approve this, and it's 4 times smaller than the real life version of Hulk. Now, as we know, or maybe you don't know, but Hulk is polymorphic, just like male genitals. It can actually change size. Now, I know you were questioning, when you say it, do you mean it Hulk or it genitals? But anyway, so ecstatic to get this, despite the fact that I recently made an announcement I'm getting out of collecting, and I'm going to sell a whole bunch of stuff. Well, in about a month, I'm going to sell about 95% of my Hulk collection. Well, 90. Okay, 85% of my Hulk collection. Now, before I do that, I have every single Hulk piece I've ever wanted, with the exception of one. So in the next week, we're going to do a video countdown of the best Hulk statues. So make sure you've not only liked this video, but you've subscribed to the channel and you've hit that bell notification. But now that this guy's here, I got to tell you, he very well may be one of the pieces that is not going. And I'm also going to say he's going to rank very high in the countdown. Kind of a spoiler for the Extreme review today, but he is phenomenal. He blows away expectations on every single level. So let's just dive into it and find out why he is so great. Starting with concept of this piece. Now, Hulk is an incredibly hard concept to change up. Usually, he's standing there in a museum-style pose like he is now, and he smashed something. While there's no exception here, they did do a big variance. Let's check it out. On the bottom here, you have, I assume it's some type of tank that he has destroyed. And it's a huge tank, but he has made kindling out of it. And you kind of only see the top version of it, which is good because it doesn't elevate him too high for design. Hulk is in a museum-style pose, but there is some action and motion to him, which I really do like. Also, what I really like about this Hulk is it's very Jack Kirby style, and there's a few different portraits we're going to look at. The one I have on now, at least in this picture, is the Jack Kirby, and it's really that Hulk that we grew and loved back in maybe the 1940s, 1950s, kind of in that range. Now, as a spoiler, I didn't read comics at the time. He's got his shredded purple pants, his overemphasized hands. He is totally roided out. And the colors, I gotta tell you guys a little spoiler, the paint and sculpt on this thing are absolutely amazing. And there are, as I said, other head portraits here we'll look at during design, but I like that he's just not on a rock, where I wanna say 90% of my Hulks are actually sitting on a rock. I like that it shows his power, he's destroyed something. I like that he's still in rage mode. I like the sheer size of him. I think that says a lot. We're gonna measure him during design. But I think for a Hulk statue, this is a 5 out of 5 on the concept. Now with design, I think they also did a really good job, and you had a few different options you could actually buy. You could buy him in the gray, I believe. You could buy him with no portrait switch outs so you wouldn't have a seam. But before we look at all that, let's look at the unboxing and assembly of this giant beast. Came in 2 boxes, not as heavy as I thought they would be, and instead of your traditional black custom foam, it was actually white with tape and straps. Here's the first layer. It had the base and a few pieces to the base. There weren't really a lot of pieces to this statue at all. And the second layer had the body and the 3 different portraits we're going to look at. All right, to see how giant he really is, depending on what you call the widest point, I'm going to say right here, it is almost 27 inches, give or take. And then if this was the depth, we're looking at a little over 20 maybe. And he is just under 27 inches or so. Now, there are 3 portrait switch outs. They do leave a decently nasty seam line, but like I said, you could have ordered it without this, so this was my choice. This is the exclusive, so there's multiple portraits. Here is the first one that I've had displayed. Then a different variance here where he has his teeth gritted. Probably my least favorite of them all. And then that same variance where he's doing a rage mode. and I like this one quite well. I'm probably going to display the first one, the Kirby style, because I don't believe I have a solitary Hulk statue with the Kirby head that's in the green. It's funny how many clarifications you got, because I do have one, but he's fighting Venom. I do have a gray one with the Kirby head. So I don't mind the seam line too much, especially since you're usually looking at it straight on and you don't see it. And it's a necessary evil with the Hulk. I mean, you don't want to put a necklace or a shirt or anything on him. Assembly was really easy. I do worry about how much space this takes up. Let's face it, it just is a little bit too big. But I don't want to knock him for that because you kind of need that for Hulk. So design, I give it a 4 out of 5. Paint and sculpt, they blew this away in my opinion. I think it's done incredibly well. A few things I would have done differently, but let's take a look. All right, let's start with the portraits here first. So I think the teeth aren't the best I've seen on a Hulk. I not only don't like the color that they use, but it's something about the texture on the surface. I love the shading in his skin. You're going to see that all throughout the entire statue. And you'll notice the colors vary a little bit depending on the lighting. And different lighting, it all looks really good. But otherwise, really clean. Look at those beady eyes. I think that's a great job. Look at the hair strands coming down the face. It almost looks like they added some other shading in the hair. On the back, I would have improved the sculpt a little bit on the hair. It almost looks like he tried to do a buzz cut and then a comb over on the top. And it looks a little plasticky to me. But love the expression, love the veins. His tongue looks great, a little glistening effect on there. And I like how the veins have almost a hint of blue with the darker green. So here's that Kirby style portrait. And again, I apologize for the lighting. It's like 5 in the morning right now. But again, same comments about the teeth, a little messy right there. So really not a fan of that. I think it's really the one of the few fails in this statue. But I think they nailed the portrait. Other than that, spot on. And again, as you look at Hulk, you know, he's kind of in an awkward position, but I think it works really well. It shows off his muscles from different angles you typically don't see. Very veiny right there. And then, like I said, they added these darker greens and almost a hint of blue in the indentation in some of the muscles. He's so roiding out, which you would typically see in this version of the Hulk. They did a great job with his nails. You know, when you're doing Hulk nails, you can either do kind of darker on the toenails and the actual nails, or you can really focus on kind of a clear aspect and show more green. I like that it's darker here. There is a little bit of miss in the foot. I'm just seeing this now, actually. I think there should have been some more differentiation between the toes. This one's a little bit better on this side. Almost like the print wasn't that clean. But I love the texture on the skin too. Very kind of like an animal hide. His pants look fantastic. I love the detail in these, the rips. You know, when you're doing sculpted pants and you can still get the seams and the pattern on the pants, the texture pattern there, and then the rips, I think that's done really, really nice. Yeah, really digging just his muscles here. It's almost too much. And you'll notice the color's even changing with my phone, depending on the light. Like I said, since it's so early in the morning, there's not a lot of natural light. I think the tank looks good. You even have some of the serial number writing on the back. Totally smashed. They went between a bunch of grays and coppers in there, which I think works really well on top of the small rock that they had in the front. I like it when they do this and there's no actual base, like the tank itself is the base. And looks great though, I think. Lots of dents. Then they have this the cloth on the tank right here that's kind of falling off. I'm not sure the purpose of that, but it does look good. Maybe there's part of this that I just am unfamiliar with. So yeah, really the big miss is the teeth and the toes in my opinion. But the rest of it just looks really good. Really impressive. And he just took a piss, by the way. See, he's unzipping his pants there. Or it reminds me after Thanksgiving dinner. That's kind of what you got to do. Really digging this piece. And on the camera here, the green is showing up a lot lighter than it is in person. So it'll be interesting to see if that translates on the video that you guys are watching. This is a winner though, I think. All right, sculpt. Very impressed, like I said. I love the body of Hulk. I love the portraits. I think the body is better than the portraits, but I think it's a solid 4 out of 5 on the sculpt. And you know what's funny? The paint's kind of the same way. Some of the details we talked about in the portraits could have done a little bit better. A few things on the tank, but the body is phenomenal. So I think it's a 4 out of 5 on the paint as well. Now let's talk about value on this piece. They made 60 of these. Now I'm not sure if that's 60 with the exclusive and then the other colors or the non-exclusive had an edition size of their own. I don't know about that, so it's gonna be kind of hard to rank the value. He was $1,100 though, which is not bad for a Hulk statue of this size. However, shipping was a bitch. I think it was like $300 or $400 shipping, I don't remember exactly, and that's boat shipping, so it took a few months to get here. Now, it has a ton of competitors. However, I know this Hulk statue had a lot of hype around it, so I definitely think I could get my money back. I don't think that would be a problem at all. And honestly, when you put this up against a lot of the competitors, like I said, I think he's gonna be pretty high in the countdown. So I'm gonna give the value a 4 out of 5 on this as well. The one thing that would change that score, if I found out they made 60 of the gray, if I found out they made 60 more of the non-exclusive, which I don't think they did, but it's possible. So does this have the X factor? Now this isn't a cumulative score, but it's when you look at it, does this kind of stop you? Does this be like, ooh, man, that's a badass statue. I really, really love that. I do. I think this is a 5 out of 5 statue. It's phenomenal. It's done very, very well on every level. A few little things you could have tweaked. By no means do you ever find a perfect statue, but I'm so glad he's in the collection. It'll be interesting to see if I actually put him in the for sale video in about a month or so, but we'll see where he ranks in the countdown. Let me know where you think he's going to rank, and the reason I ask you to let me know that is because of this. To win one of these statues, all you have to do is make sure you've liked this video, you've subscribed to the channel, you've hit that bell notification, and then just drop a comment below. Every 5,000 subscriber milestone, we are going to do a random drawing and pick a random comment and give one of these statues away, plus some additional ones I'm not showing right now. The more videos you comment on, the higher your chances are to win. So thanks so much for tuning in. Make sure to hit that picture of me, subscribe, get that bell notification so you see that countdown, you see when these statues go for sale. In the meantime, drop me a like on the way out, it really helps. And I will talk to you soon. Take care.